Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back in the 2018 Thorace 30.2 working some AC and cooling upgrades along with a few other things. The first thing I'm going to do is replace the thermostat. Not a fan of the thermostat. It's analog and it doesn't seem to know what temperature it is, or I've got to crank it down really low for it to actually turn on. So I think it's just not great. But I've got a few options that I'm going to look at to replace it, and we'll figure out which one we go with, and I'll walk you through that today. But what you can see first is I've already removed the thermostat. So this is the old thermostat. The wires had to be cut because I'll show you here in a second if I can that they come through the hole, and then they're actually soldered to the other the Coleman Mach controller. So I've got a couple options for controllers, and I think I really have the one in mind that I want to use, but we'll walk through three of them here real quick, or a few of them here real quick. So here are our controllers. This is the original Coleman Mach controller with the analog sliding controller, and then fan off and on, cool and heat, and then high-low fan here as well for auto high and auto low, and then just regular high and low for the fan. And then as I take the cover off here you can see where these were actually soldered in, so I had to cut them off. If I were to do it again, I'd probably cut them a little farther back just to make sure I have some more if I need to use this, just in case I need to go back to this thermostat. I would be able to, but in this case it's going to be tough. But I really don't want to use that one. So now I have a few more here. Two of these are bought off of Amazon. One I think we got from Home Depot some time ago. So this is an Amazon one I bought. To tell you the truth, I have already tried to install this one. The problem, this one costs about 35 bucks. But after I removed this one, found out what the wiring scheme was for this one, installed it, I realized that this one is only for Dometic, and I have a Coleman AC. So that was an hour of my an hour of my life, maybe an hour and a half of my life wasted trying to get this one working for. I went back to the app, looked at it, and then saw right there in bold print at the for the description that it only works for Dometic. Now a review of this one, it seems acceptable. It is very lightweight. Seems like it's made with kind of cheap plastic, but the look is okay. I would have been fine with this, I think, having this auto, this one. But one thing to think of here, right off the bat, these two here that I'll talk about in a second are household, and the difference between household and RV are these are 12 volt controllers. So these two controllers are 12 volt. These other controllers are, I believe they're 24 volts is what they run off of from the house. So they're more than 12 volts. So when you're using a house thermostat, you're going to run into a problem. Also, these don't have the high and low fan settings, so whichever one you wire into the fan is the one you're going to get. So I'm going to wire in the high fan, and I think I'll be good with that. What that does come into, or what that does do is, it's nice to have a low fan so you can keep the volume down, and keep it a little quieter in the RV if you don't need the full fan blaring. If you don't need the full fan blaring all the time, so it is nice to have the fan setting there. So enough about this one. This one, like I said, is a household one. This one costs about 25 bucks. You can get one for 15 that's not a color. I think this glows blue. We'll see here in a minute. But what this does have is batteries. So it'll run off batteries, so it's not trying to pick up the 24 volt feed from a typical house. So this is the one I think I'm going to end up going with. And I did have this one because we replaced this Google Nest Thermostat one time with in our house. So this one was in our house. We went with the nicer one with the bezel on it. So we did have this one left over. I did hook this up in here, and I'll show you how I'm going to go through the steps to hook this one up and show you that it does work. But there is an issue that I don't think I'll be able to overcome, because this one does have batteries, but the battery power is just a backup. So the batteries are a backup, not the main power source. If the batteries are the main power source, this would be a good thermostat even without the Wi-Fi. So if you could find a way to wire in a secondary 12 volt wire, this would be really good. So we're going to go ahead and hook this one up first, and I'll turn it on, and then we'll see this Nest thermostat working, and then I'll hook this one in, make sure it's good to go, and then we'll probably stick with this one. So all right, I'm going to get to this Nest thermostat and then show you the functions, and probably show you the wiring as well before we turn it on. So the Nest thermostat comes with this little bezel here. This would attach to the wall, and this is where the wires go into. And then in the back of that Nest thermostat, these pins here go into just go into these holes here, and it lines up and it pops right in there. But it's got Y, C, W, and then G, R, and QB. So the Y easily lines up with or corresponds to yellow, and then the C is going to be your common or ground, and in this case the blue is my common or ground. You don't actually need this one, but you can still hook up that the common wire. W is going to be white, and the white wire, well, the yellow wire is cool. The white wire is going to be your furnace to turn the furnace or the AC on. And then on this side, you've got G and R, and then G. So we've got a green wire and we've got a gray wire. In this case, the green wire is low fan, gray wire is high fan. So I'm only going to go with the gray wire. And then we finally have the red wire, and then the red wire is going to be the power in for the low voltage power. So yeah, so the red wire is going to be power in. We don't need that red wire. So what I'll do here real quick is I'll hook up these wires, and then we'll plug in and see how this Google Nest works. All right, now I'll hook this up. I'm not going to screw it to the wall. I don't think that's necessary, but I'm going to go ahead and hook in the yellow wire here. Pretty simple. Just push in this little tab, and there's a little tab here. Push in this little tab, and it goes right into this hole here on the side. It's really simple setup process. And then here is our thermostat. And obviously when the power comes on and it gives you, you can see the text. The text is going to be, you know, level. So you see there's a small level bubble here. That's going to be at the top. And then when you level out the, obviously you can look at the back and read the you can see the G or read the text. You'll know which way is up and which way is down. So once you pop her in there, now it says Wi-Fi disconnected, and it's running on battery power, but it's only getting the limited voltage. Again, it says indoor, it's 84 degrees, and it's off. So on this thermostat, you just run your fingers along the side here, and you touch the side of the thermostat to turn it on. So it's on, and it says eco, heat is set to 65. Don't want heat on. So if you can see here, there is a little fire icon. If I push it, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go to the AC icon at 72. All right, guys. So the AC is working. You can hear it. I can feel it. It's coming out pretty well. As you can see, it's 86 degrees. There it goes. It's 85 degrees now. Set it for 81 cooling. Set it for cool mode here, and cooling for 73. So it's going to drop the temperature. The problem is, and I don't have, it's not going to do it now. Since it's so warm in here. The last time I tried this, when this kicks over to heat, this will generate an error code about stable power, and then it will also say that it doesn't have power. So it needs more voltage than this red wire will provide for this to actually work. But you can bring extra batteries and run this off of it, and it will run with that error code. So without it doesn't have an error now, and it's running fine. If I were to switch it over to heat and crank it up, obviously with it so warm in here, it's going to be an issue. Then that will be its own thing. But let me see if I can get it to make the code, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Well, this one has a cool down and startup timer. So as you can see, my timer's counting down 5 seconds. It was counting for about 2.5 minutes. So it's got quite an extensive timer as well, which is really weird that it has this this timer that counts it down. And now that it's on heating, oddly enough, it turned the AC fan on. So see, now the furnace is on, but the AC fan is also on. So now it says install stable power source. So this is the error that I get with, or that you would get if you were trying to connect one of these without the appropriate voltage running to the power wire. And then also this powers, as you can see here, hopefully. So hopefully you can hear it. That's the AC fan is on, but the furnace is also on. So it turns both the fans on for what reason I do not know. But what I'll do here is turn it off. So now it's turned itself off. The AC is automatically turned itself off, the fan overhead, but the heat down below is going to run through, I think it's a power cycle, to make sure it's cooled off. So it would run the heat if it needed to. However, you saw the stable power source warning and the issue with this thermostat. But again, the heat is on, but the AC fan came on as well. So it works, but it's not recommended because of the issues in the battery and what it requires for power. But if you're just cooling, so if you're in a hot climate and you're just using the AC, it actually seems to work pretty well and doesn't give you the error code while it's just cooling. It seems to be heat that this Nest thermostat has an issue. And if you have Wi-Fi and you can connect this to Wi-Fi, you're going to be able to control it from your phone while you're away. You'd be able to know what the temperature is in the RV. If you have pets in here, that it could be really cool. So that is the Google Nest thermostat. Next, I'm going to go ahead and hook up this this cheap one here that I got off of Amazon, and I'll do the same thing. So it has the same connectors, just little screws here. So I'll do the same C0B, C0 or CW. I think B is going to be our ground wire, and then G is going to be the gray for the fan, and then Y for the cooling. So I'll go ahead and hook this one up, and then we'll test it out. All right, I've got this panel hooked up here, and it's kind of similar to that Google Nest. C common is the blue, W white, that should be the heat, Y yellow, that should be the AC. So I did do some testing, touching the green and gray wires to the power. Seems like the green wire is actually the higher fan, and then on these they come with this comes with this jumper wire. So you're supposed to leave the jumper wire in and then connect the red to one of these two, RH or RC. So I'm gonna hook up this thermostat real quick, and we'll see what we got. All right, I've got this thing connected. Says it's 85 degrees in here, so it's got a really cool blue illumination panel. I like that because the last one did not illuminate at all, so it was hard to see. It's going to fit just perfectly right here. We'll be able to see it. I've already switched it over to heat. This one kicks on only the furnace, and then the furnace obviously will go into what this one does do is go into a delay. So it does have a delay. I think the original one does not have a delay. It's going to go right back and forth right to your to what you're trying to do. But I'm going to go ahead and mount this on the wall, and I think we're going to be all set with this installation. All right, guys. So that's it for the thermostat. I don't think it looks too bad even in white. I can't remember if there was even an option for not white, but yeah, for 25 bucks, it seems to be working great. It's kicking out nice cold air. I don't know if I'll pair this video with the one of the awesome taillights I'm putting on the back, but I'm going to put some LED taillights in the back of this RV. They're kind of universal, some nice ones. But for 25 bucks, I got a household household thermostat in the RV. The trick being that you need to have one that's battery powered here, so you can run the AAA batteries, so it will power the system and not try to power off of the more powerful home unit. And then again, you're only going to have one fan speed, not a high and a low. But one other thing I'm going to check I don't know if it'll be in this video. Maybe it will be, depending on how much time this video takes up. Should have been a pretty short video. I want to look at the plenum here. I've seen some videos on the plenums that people have done, and how they've improved the airflow. And I really want to do that with this AC, because this AC is it doesn't feel like it's the coldest. I mean, it's cold and it does its job, but I think it could do it better. So I might look at that in this video, or I'll just make this 2 videos. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out and gives you an idea on a cheap one. Because the mock replacement is still, I think the cheapest one is like 60 or 70 bucks, and then the digital one is over $100. So for 25 bucks, you can put this one in and it works. So if you got any comments, if there's something I did wrong, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see. I'm gonna check out this plenum now. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna give this fixing this plenum a shot, but I don't know if I'm gonna follow the method that some of the other folks on here did. I think I'm going to go a little bit simpler, a little bit cheaper, I guess. So obviously the method that they all use, and I think I'm kind of going to use, is to block off the down vents that come right from here. But I don't think I'm going to use a full piece of foam under here, because if I can get up here, I'll show you that there's not a lot of room here. Hopefully this isn't too bright. So this is not a lot of room to put that foam. I mean, I probably could put a piece of cardboard here. You know, that it's a half of an inch. It's about a half of an inch from you know, the bottom of where this plenum goes in, or the ductwork starts, to this. And I'd rather have it sitting on this lip than have it going around or coming up from underneath. I think I'm going to keep this divider. I'm not going to, when I did open this up, this divider was a little messed up. All the corners and these little vent plenum things are broken. But this divider wasn't quite, it wasn't aligned properly. But I think I'm gonna tape, just use a lot of the foil tape. I'm gonna kind of tape off these sections. I'm gonna tape this up, tape up the this kind of plenum here, or this divider here. And then what I think I'm gonna do is use this, and this is just a piece that goes here underneath, and then the that cover, the shroud there, this diverts the air. So I think I don't want to use the diversion I don't want to divert the air. So what I bought was just some cleaner here, this cutter to cut the foam. I went to Walmart because Lowe's is a little bit farther away, and they have these flower foam blocks. This was the one I thought I might use, but as you can see, it's quite thick, and it's too thick to put on the bottom of that. I probably could just use a piece of plywood, but I'm sorry, not plywood, cardboard. However, I just looked at this and said, why don't I just use this? This 2 screws, it screws up there. I'll be able to I think I'm going to take a couple of these blocks, shape them, tape them onto this, so that when they go in, they create scoops that divides the air left and right. And then, you know, I'll kind of shape the rest of that. So I'll build some of this, and then I'll show you what I've done, and I'll show you what I've taped up, just so you can see the final product. I don't think I'll set up a camera and record me doing it. And then, you know, from there, we'll go ahead and test out this AC. All right, step 1, I covered the hole on this this diverter, plenum diverter, I guess, with foil tape. And there's a hole here, and there was a hole here. They don't have screws going through them, so these holes here are the ones that matter, and then the corner. So, and then in the back, I just put the backing paper back on it, so it wasn't sticky foil on the bottom. Next, I just took one of these blocks, cut it to width, and then I actually cut it in half, and it's made 2 wedges. So these 2 wedges are going to go here. This stuff is not the nicest. Stuff goes everywhere, so I'm glad I did it outside. I've got little flecks of it all over myself. It looks like almost looks like glitter, but as you can see, these fit up there really nicely. So I'm gonna put these on there, tape them on there like that. It'll divert the flow to the left and to the right, and then I'll clean this up and I'll come back and I'll show you what all that looks like. All right, so this is what this plenum looks like. Again, I reuse this center baffle. Just put some, it's kind of a fiberglassy with some foam on it. It does kind of suck, so I did cover the edges here just to make it a little more rigid, make sure it doesn't fall apart in the near future. Put some of the foil tape around the edges, and then all of the rough, square, boxy, just areas I just smoothed out with the tape. You know, it doesn't look so great in the corners, but it's not too bad. So now it's got some really good angles and not the squares, which only going to help a little bit, I think, but you know, more peace of mind probably than function, but it's going to help. And then this like baffle top, I went ahead and taped on this little V. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put it in, turn it on, get this temperature down. It's like 89 in here, so it's a little sweaty. And then yeah, we'll see how it looks and how it feels. All right, guys, as you can see, that about wraps it up. Seems to be working well. Again, these vents are not functional any longer, but I do have a little bit more airflow, and it feels a little cooler coming out of the vents. So I think that's a win. We don't use these dump vents very often. I mean, sometimes when we're driving and it's hot back here, we'll turn this one on, but otherwise these do just fine for the kids. We just shut the other vents, so they mostly dump out up here. But even in the back, the bedroom, they seem to be doing just fine. Yeah, I think that's it for the heating and cooling. We don't use the back AC very much, so I don't know if we even need to do this to the rear AC. But I'll think about it, and probably won't record that, but if I do it, it's because we had a hot summer, so we'll see how it goes. But that one back there seems to be okay, and this one seems to for the most part be enough for us. We've only used that back one, I think, like once when we were actually staying in the RV. But if you stuck around this long, thanks for watching. Again, please like and subscribe. I've got a few more things to do this RV. I got to get up on the roof. I already put some brake lights on here. I think that'll be a separate video for the lights themselves. A pretty short one, but some really cool LED lights that you can get on Amazon to put on this thing. And then we're finally replacing this unidirectional, antenna, HD TV antenna, with an omnidirectional HD TV antenna. The one that we have here is broken, and I couldn't get the parts to fix the little turning thing, so that it's constantly pointed straight ahead. You can actually turn it and rotate it from up there, so it could be spinning around for all we know when we're driving. But that's for another video. Again, thanks for sticking around this long, and thanks for watching.